Let us now discuss each of these classifications in greater detail. Let's start with the classification of crimes as to the law punishing them. When you say felonies, they refer to crimes punished under the revised penal code. When you say offenses, they refer to crimes punished under special penal laws. And when you say infractions or misdemeanors, they refer to violations of municipal, city, or provincial ordinances. By the way, never make the mistake of calling a crime punished under a special law as a felony, because the term felony is exclusive for crimes punished under the revised penal code. Crimes are also classified as to their nature. A crime, therefore, can be malum in se or mala in se in the plural sense. They refer to crimes which are considered inherently evil or wrong in themselves or wrongful by their nature, like murder. Murder is wrong per se, it's evil per se. Theft, taking the property of another without the owner's consent. And adultery, a married woman who commits an act of sexual intercourse with a man who is not her husband. A crime can also be considered or classified as malum prohibitum, or in the plural sense, mala prohibita. They refer to crimes which are not considered wrongful by their nature, but are considered wrong because there is a law that forbids them. Like, for example, the cutting of a coconut tree without first securing a permit from the Philippine Coconut Authority. This is a crime that is considered malum prohibitum because the mere cutting of the said tree without such permit will already constitute a violation under Republic Act 8048 as amended by Republic Act 10593. Question: with respect to crimes punished under the revised penal code and special penal laws, which of these crimes are considered mala in se and or mala prohibita? Answer: generally, crimes mala in se are the felonies defined and penalized in the revised penal code. However, when the acts complained of are inherently evil or wrong per se, they are deemed mala in se even if they are punished by a special law. So, the rule is, with respect to felonies in the revised penal code and offenses in special penal laws which are wrong per se or inherently evil, they should be classified or considered as mala in se, regardless of whether the crime is punished under the revised penal code or punished under a special law. As long as the crime committed is inherently wrong or wrong per se, then it should be considered, or they should be considered, mala in se. And with respect to other offenses punished in special penal laws which are wrong merely because there is a law that forbids them, like for example, illegal possession of firearms under Republic Act 10591 or illegal cutting of coconut trees under Republic Act 8048 as amended, or the illegal possession of a bladed weapon as punished under BP bilang 6, these offenses which are not wrongful by their nature are merely considered mala prohibita. Question: what is the test to determine if the violation of a special law is malum prohibitum or malum in se? Answer: When given a problem, take note first if the crime is a violation of the revised penal code or a violation of a special law. Because if it is a violation of the revised penal code, then automatically it should be considered as malum in se. But when the crime is punished under a special law, that is the time you have to take a closer look at that particular crime. Whether that crime is wrongful by its nature or merely wrong because the law forbids its commission. Also, you must analyze the violation. Is it wrong merely because there is a law prohibiting it or punishing it as such? If it is, then it is malum prohibitum. Now, if you remove the law, this is another test. Will the act still be wrong? If it is, then it is malum in se. Regardless of whether there is a law that punishes it, if the doing of the act is inherently evil, then that act should be considered malum in se or wrongful by its nature or inherently evil. Another question. Why is it important to distinguish between crimes mala in se and mala prohibita? Answer. The importance of knowing the distinction between malum in se and malum prohibitum is the element of intent. Take note. Crimes mala in se, except for culpable felonies, require the attendance of criminal intent. To be considered malum in se, the commission of the unlawful act must be coupled with criminal intent. For example, to be considered homicide or murder, the offender must have acted with intent to kill. On the other hand, criminal intent is not an element in crimes mala prohibita. Because in crimes mala prohibita, the only question to be asked is, has the law been violated? The intent of the offender here is immaterial. The mere commission of the prohibited act is enough to constitute the crime. For example, X cut a coconut tree without first having secured a permit from the Philippine Coconut Authority. Here, X is liable for violation of RA 8048, an offense which is malum prohibitum.